Recording right now.
Hello, Joe.
Hi.
Welcome to the channel, everybody. Me and my friend Joe. Something that we do a lot is we will listen to a band's entire discography, and then we will rank them, and then we'll come together and have a conversation about it. But now that there's a YouTube channel involved, we're doing it on YouTube. So yippee-ki-yay. Joe, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Oh man, this is gonna be on YouTube.
Good.
So yeah, today we're doing a band called The Cure. Now, some of you may know this is like a post-punk band, but then they also did a lot of other styles as their career kind of went forward. Very interesting band. It's a band that I think Joe knew a bit better than me before we decided to listen to their discography. I knew a few songs that I really liked, and I also like a good handful of post-punk bands, and I didn't really, I just wanted to hear The Cure's whole thing, because if they have songs I really like and they're that was my thing. But yeah, so Joe, let's kind of talk about our history with The Cure, and I guess I'll start because mine's short. So my history with The Cure, I think it began. I was at a I guess you could say it was like a party, but it was mostly for adults in these random people's backyard, and I don't even know who they were. But I had a friend in 5th grade who invited me to go with her to this occasion, and she also invited another friend to go with us to this occasion. And on the radio that was there was a Cure song playing, and it was Friday, I'm in Love, and all of the adults were like, oh yes, I love The Cure, because they're of this time period or age, and I really liked the song. And they asked me if I knew who The Cure was, and I lied and said yes to seem cool as a 5th grader.
Good. Did it work?
No, not really. I mean, they're just like, oh, cool, And yeah, it's dumb. Don't lie. But then later, I liked that song, and then later when I got into middle school, there was a Blink-182 song on Guitar Hero World Tour. So I started to become interested in Blink-182, and then I had this friend who let me borrow a lot of CDs from him, and he gave me a Blink-182 CD that was the self-titled album, and there's a song on that features the vocalist from The Cure, Robert Smith. And I really liked that song too, and I really liked his voice in that song and his part in that song. And so I started getting interested in The Cure, and I listened to some more stuff. But yeah, and then I guess the songs that I knew when I was about 13 were kind of the only songs that I knew until I guess maybe a month ago or so, whenever we started listening to The Cure. I don't remember. Of course, now I've found a whole bunch more that I really like, and some albums that I really like. So I've really enjoyed getting into The Cure. So Joe, what's your kind of history with them?
Well, first off, that's a really good story. I got into The Cure. It was one, again, from adults. It was one that I always kind of knew about, but didn't really know a lot of songs. I knew a few. It was one that my parents were into, and even they didn't know a lot of albums, or I would say they had it's called Staring at the Sea, a singles compilation from the 80s.
Is that the one with the little boy playing in the sand or something?
I can show you the picture. It's the one. There's there's two versions of the cover. The one is, I guess the one I have on here is the. See if you can. This pulls up. It's the man, and I can't really see it on the screen, but there's a water behind him. But there's another version of it where it's that same picture, but it's just his face. His face takes up the whole. Standing on a beach. It was released the reason it has different covers and different names is because I guess it was just released in different countries. But yeah, that's what they listened to. What else? And when I was in high school, I actually went and saw them because my mom was like, Joe, do you want to see The Cure? And I was like, sure, that sounds fun. And I honestly didn't know a lot of songs even then at the time, but they played for like 3 hours, and they would like every encore, like they would play an encore and then go back, and then they come out and play a few more songs, and they did this like 5 times. So it was really fun, and definitely got
Can
me
you tell me the year?
2016 was when I saw them.
Oh,
It was the summer after my junior year of high school
interesting.
when I
Okay.
saw them. And yeah, we saw them in Kansas City at the Starlight Theater. So it was really fun. It was almost more of like an experience than it was a concert. I mean, it was a concert, but like it was just tons of, lights, effects, and screens, and lots of cool things to look at. But it was almost more like because people just be walking around and stuff, like, oh yeah, there's like music going on, people just like hang out. But it was still really fun, because I mean, it's all old people, so they're like, whatever. But it was actually really fun. And then as I got into college, I got into some more of their albums. And then, well, like you said, now that we've gone through all of them, there's a lot of more songs that I've learned. I mean, obviously, but there's some songs that I like and some albums that I like that I'd never heard before. So that's really cool. And I'm really glad I got into these albums by myself, because the way I listen to music is very different than the way my parents listen to music. But I'm really glad that I was able to dig into all these albums, because I don't know, just made it really feel really rewarding is what it was.
Definitely. That's cool. And yeah, I guess before we really jump into the video, I want to mention to our billions of fans in this legion of fans that we have so far, 2 videos in. I just want to mention to all of you at home that we will probably be doing videos like this in the future, me and Joe, probably about bands that we have ranked in the past. Like I mentioned, we have these conversations kind of a lot. We'll just choose a band and then listen to their whole thing. So we'll probably go back and revisit some that we've already had conversations about, but then we'll also do new ones. And I'm also pretty open to suggestions. So for our legions of fans.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys are the greatest.
We do this for you guys.
Yeah, 3 subscribers. But they are the best. Because I know all of them. So Joe, go ahead and share your screen.
All right, let me go ahead and do this. Okay, here it is. So
check it out. This is a little schematic that I made earlier on my HP in Microsoft Word. But since I'm on a Mac right now that doesn't have Microsoft Word, I sent the file to Joe, so he will be controlling the Microsoft Word document here from his computer. But I just want to run through how it's going to go. So there's 13 albums that are studio albums by The Cure, and we are only going to be ranking studio albums. I know there's several other things, but this is just what we're going with to do our ranking. So there's 13 of them. Along the top, you'll see the historical order of when they came out, and that is going to be there throughout the entire duration of the video. I just want to leave that up there as like a historical chronological reference point. As you see how we're going to rank these albums, I just want that to remain constant. And then you'll see that there's a Tyler row and a Joe row. And we're going to work our way from number 13 to number 1. So we're going to start at the bottom, and we're just going to give our reasons why we are ranking each album in each place. And so I think I think we're pretty much ready to start, right?
I just noticed that 1, 2, and 3 are bigger than all the other numbers.
Yeah, I tried to make them all gold, silver, and bronze. So like like a track meet or something.
Oh, good.
But okay, so I've got my handy dandy notes here.
Yes.
So ready to do this?
Yes.
Okay, well, I decided to put on the bottom of my list the album called Three Imaginary Boys.
Yes. So that's their first one. So
It
if I
is
can do
their
this
first
right.
one. Yeah, perfect.
There it is.
So what did you choose?
My least favorite was, look at my list, the one Blood Flowers from the year 2000. Is this one here?
Sure.
Was my least favorite.
Okay.
Right here.
That makes good sense to me. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not too mad at you for that. Hopefully you're not too mad at me so far.
No, I'm not. Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, yeah.
So everyone, these are just our opinions, but make sure to tell us in the comments how wrong we are.
Yeah, please do. Sounds fun. So yeah, I guess my general thoughts about Three Imaginary Boys are that, it's their first album. And to me, it's not really, like, The Cure is not fully realized. They haven't really found their sound at this point. And to me, at this point, they probably should have just stayed in the garage. That's kind of my general thoughts. I don't hate it, and it has nice sounds, but I think the songwriting's pretty not great, and just sounds amateurish, and they just really haven't come into their own yet. So to me, it just doesn't feel like a finished album that, kind of directionless. That's my general thoughts. I don't hate everything on it for sure. And I expect I'll probably revisit it too.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth that. But I don't have too much great to say about it really. In terms of like that kind of post-rock sound or post-punk sound, I should say, it's not high on my list really. So that's kind of why I put it at 13. So you have Blood Flowers.
Yes. Why? So for me, this I guess is I didn't really get anything like I enjoyed from this album. Like what they're trying to do is, similar to their 1989 Disintegration, something big and really dreamy and spacious. And for people, well, I'll say it, I like Disintegration, but for this one, the musically, it's just not interesting. And so there are parts on like some albums that are really boring, but then like other parts, even parts within the same songs that are like really cool. But this one, it didn't really have anything for me. Every song was just kind of, I guess. I definitely would like to revisit it because it's similar to, I think Robert Smith actually he's called it a trilogy of Pornography, Disintegration, and Blood Flowers, which I don't know how that works, but I would like to go back and listen more, maybe just like some songs, to understand it more, I guess. But that's probably why I put it low. And also, I should have said this earlier, some of them, like, not necessarily this one, but as we go on, there are like parts where there are two albums, and like I didn't know how to decide because I could literally like flip them, and I'd be like, I can see that working.
Sure.
But yeah, we'll get into some of that, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on that one.
Okay, sure. So yeah, I want to talk highlights. Was there anything on it that you'll probably like like, is there anything that when you were listening to it, you kind of discovered that you'll take forward? Like, you know what, this song was really good. Anything like that?
I'd say almost every song had some sort of part, or at least there were moments of songs that I thought that I enjoyed, but they weren't long. They didn't, it's only 9 songs, but each song, it's 10 songs, but every song is just so lengthy and doesn't really do a lot, in my opinion.
I think that makes sense. And in a way, that's kind of just the Cure's tendency for a lot of things.
And they do that. They do that even for, I would argue, some of their best albums, as they get into this like, not sluggish, but kind of just like monotonous, whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've found a lot of that listening to their discography. It kind of takes some patience.
Right.
But probably as you keep listening to some of these albums, it'll become I don't know. there's some really long passages from The Cure that I like to listen to.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is like a lot, you know, a lot of these intros, just in general, the whole discography are like a minute and a half long.
I know.
Minimum. Yeah, I found that a lot, and I think that's a weird choice. But it's a
is.
bold choice. It's an interesting and probably artistic one to them.
But it is interesting because like that's just what they do. That's what they always do with like every album and every song, and that's just what they do, I guess.
Sure. And I do think it's also interesting that you pointed out the trilogy thing. I never heard that.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, those 3 albums really are kind of the dreamiest.
They are, for sure.
It's an interesting thing to hear
so,
from our boy, Robert Smith.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, I can see how he would put those together. I guess I think of them, well, that one specifically being like in a different era of The Cure, just simply because it was made much later. But I mean, they are comparable in that, I guess, in what they were trying to accomplish with each album.
Yeah. I will say about the album that I've chosen, this 3 Imaginary Boys, that there was a song on it that I thought was the most interesting that I probably actually will take forward. Like I probably, most of the album's kind of forgettable to me. But I really do like this song called So What. It's track. It's track 9. That's a nice one. And I found it to be, like, compared to the rest of the album, not boring.
Cool.
Yeah, and I was kind of like surprised when it came up. I was thinking, oh wow, huh. But then, you know, for a lot of this album, I was just kind of thinking, I don't have the patience for this.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's just not terrific.
It's not there.
Yeah, it's kind of bland and repetitive, which is not always bad, but that's how I felt like it was kind of monotonous as an album. But that song was nice. It was surprising and stuck out to me for sure. So
cool.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go on to number 12. So
number 12. Next.
On my list is Blood Flowers.
Blood Flowers. Wait. Okay, here it is. At number 12. Right here. All right. Number 12 on my list was actually, yeah, their last one, 413 Dream. What's this one? This is where I put there. So, well, I guess we discussed Blood Flowers, but what else would you have to say about it?
Okay, I like the artistic direction of it because
Sure.
it does sound like a Cure album that sounds like The Cure. Kind of unlike Three Imaginary Boys, which is probably their least Cure sounding album. And so it has that. So I think it gives it a leg up for that reason. But then also there is a song on it called 39.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, and that song is definitely a highlight to me. Definitely sticks out.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not great though. The album. It's not. Yeah, really. Kind of every song on this is really long. Is something that I noticed, and it's like generally I don't like when The Cure does that, and they kind of do it a lot, but on this album I think they do it kind of the most. Like if The Cure ever made a Tool album, this is it.
This is it.
And well, okay, I love Tool, let's be clear, but yeah, they don't have enough ideas to stretch these songs out.
Right.
But you know, Robert Smith sounds nice, so
cool.
Yeah, totally. It doesn't totally lack in creativity, but also it's weird when you place it in their career because it comes after some of the most colorful things that Cure ever did. And so it really is like a very intentional step in another direction. Which I didn't expect, you know. But again, you mentioned that trilogy thing earlier, which makes me like maybe I'm kind of thinking they went into it like we need to make another one of these types.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, Blood Flowers. Well, I don't know. It's kind of interesting because I'm kind of less interested in Blood Flowers than I am Three Imaginary Boys. Like, if you asked me which one I'd be more willing to revisit, it would be Three Imaginary Boys.
Really?
Just because Blood Flowers is such like a commitment.
Right. And you listen to one song and you already know every song.
Yeah.
With Three Imaginary Boys, there's at least a little more, I don't know if I'd call it creativity, but more not in the sound itself, but in the songwriting diversity.
Sure.
I don't know.
Oh, well, I think that's definitely true. And it makes it feel directionless, for one thing.
It does.
It also makes it kind of like, maybe I should listen to this again, because there's kind of a lot thrown at the wall on it. Which is not always bad. There's some albums where they just seem really random, and I actually really like it, but not with this one, or referring to Three Imaginary Boys. And another thing I think I'm interested to say about Three Imaginary Boys before moving on too far that I kind of forgot to mention is that it feels like they think their ideas are really good, and they're not. And to me, that bugs me. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And I would say that it, in that sense, it reminds me a lot of when I've heard the artist called Car Seat Headrest. I mean, I kind of just threw him right under the bus, but my opinions about the music of Car Seat Headrest are similar. It's just not great ideas, but he thinks they're really artistic and really interesting. And there's just such an amateur thing about it. I don't know. But yeah, Blood Flowers is kind of more one note, like you were saying. So yeah, I'll let you talk about 413 Dream.
Yeah, this one, there are definitely, it stands out more because there's more, I guess, more colorful. There's more to it. But again, none of the songs, I won't say none of the songs. Most of the songs, I was kind of like, I was thinking I wouldn't necessarily, be interested in, coming back to this for enjoyment. Besides, I would listen to it again for, just, I'd listen to all these albums again, even more times, just for learning or understanding, or even ranking, because my opinions will change at some point. But this one, I mean, I like the song Freak Show. It's kind of weird and kind of silly. The whole album just seems silly, but that one I at least thought was, I don't know, I like how it's kind of a dance groove. It's kind of meant to be funny, I guess. But this one, I mean, I don't know, I don't feel like it's definitely better than the Blood Flowers, I think, in my opinion, but it's not one that I think would stand up to a lot of these other albums. But
Okay.
there are parts of songs that I thought were enjoyable. I think it has, and I think part of it has the edge just because it's not all the exact same.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, it's not horrible, but just not for me, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I like Freak Show kind of too. Yeah, I remember, because it's a little bit, it's funky.
It is.
And it's kind of weird when The Cure does funky. They do it occasionally, and it's kind of weird. But the vocals on it are really, really, really good. So I think that's the thing I liked about Freak Show a lot. And I have other things to say about other songs, but we will get there. And also, I think you may be a little surprised about where it ends up on my list. We'll get there too. So let's go to number 11. My number 11 is 17 Seconds.
Let me find that one. There it is. 17 Seconds. Right here. Okay. And my number 11 is, find this one here. The top. This one right here. All right. 17 seconds. Go. I'm timing you. Sorry, that was a really lame joke. I did not mean to make that joke, but it just came out just really terrible. All right. Okay, you have more than 17 seconds to talk about this album.
Well, I hope so, because the song 17 Seconds is a bit longer. Well, okay, so yeah, this album, it sounds like The Cure. It does. But it doesn't sound like The Cure has really figured out who they are yet, to me. But there's some really successful stuff on it. Yeah, so I know that there's or I noticed that there's kind of a lot of just space on this album. It just kind of floats around. And I'm not exactly that into like vibes or like, you know, just like chilling out with like an aesthetic sounding song happening.
Right.
That's not engaging to me. I guess if music's not engaging, I can tune out pretty easily. So this album requires a lot of patience for me to listen to as a whole. And, you know, it has a lot of cool sounds on it, but it just doesn't sound developed to me. But there's some highlights on it for me. I really like, what's that song called? It's called Play for Today. I thought that was sweet. Yeah, this is like
I really like that one.
So that's like kind of by far my favorite, but I also liked another song, which is, I don't know if I really liked it. It's A Forest.
Yeah, The Forest. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought that it's boring for a while, but it does eventually settle into something.
Actually goes somewhere.
Nice. Yeah, it does. You know, it eventually finds its direction. But you know what? Like, honestly, as a song, like if you take the song as a whole into account, it's like, I don't know why I would ever want to listen to that whole intro again. Like,
because that's the one with like literally a minute and a half intro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, because I agree. I do really like that song, but you kind of have to sit through it or just, you know, skip ahead on in your iTunes or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so there's that, and then also on this album, there were many times, like I said, I need a lot of patience for this album.
You do.
Sometimes, like, I would listen through it, and my opinion of a song is literally just like, why? More of this.
Right.
Like, dang, post-punk haziness.
Yeah.
It's fine, I guess. But I do think that it's more successful than Blood Flowers and Three Imaginary Boys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I place it above those two, because it has some moments where it's like The Cure in full form. It's like peeking through the kind of rubbish pile. But, and like I said, I don't hate any of these albums, you know, but the Cure album-wise hasn't gotten super interesting to me as of yet on this, as we're making our way. It gets interesting album-wise a bit later to me. But so go ahead and talk about the top. It's interesting.
So the top, yeah, there are some songs on here that I think are just great. I really like. But then there are others that I think are just weird and just sound like noise. Mm-hmm. I really don't like them. And with the songs that I like, you know, I really wish I could put this album higher, because there are things that I really like about it. But the album as a whole, like, I don't know, it almost doesn't feel like an album to me in a way. I don't know why, but it's just like, yeah, I like what's the first two, Shake Dog Shake, and yeah, Bird Mad Girl, I think is the one. And then the Caterpillar, like some of those songs are like really, I think they're kind of weird, but like you said, funky, like when you said it, and also like kind of sexy, I think. Mm-hmm. I think there's some really good stuff on there, but then a lot of them, I kind of the same reaction I had where I'm like, just why? Or even if a song is okay, it goes on for like, you know, it feels like it goes on for 7 minutes or something. But yeah, and some people hate this album and some people love it. And I can totally understand the people who love it. I don't hate this album at all. Mm-hmm. I just think it's, again, just not, and I'll be saying this a lot, hard to sit through, I think.
Yeah.
And you'll see even some of my favorite albums I consider to be like a, not bad, but like a tough listen. Like you really have to, have a lot of patience, I guess. Yeah, I mean, sure, I already said that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that one. There are a few songs I think are great. So yeah, I was really struggling with some of these because they're like that one. But then there's some albums that I think are the high points aren't as high, but they are more consistent, I would say.
Tricky. Yeah.
So and
Interesting.
then again that gets into where it's like, oh, I could literally put these two in any order and I could see it working. Like this is
Yeah.
actually like, I mean, obviously there's a lot of albums, but this is actually really hard to rank in some ways. And I'm sure, actually, I'm convinced some of my opinions, probably for some of these lower albums, I think, because I'm pretty set in my, well, for at least most of my top 5, I think. But my opinions will probably, I mean, I hope I like some of these albums more at some point, just because it'd be more fun. I'd be more interested because I don't want to like hate things, or not hate, but I want to like dislike things.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of where I'm at with that one. I really, well, we'll get to 17 seconds, but I really liked everything you said about that album, because even though I put that album higher, I see what you mean with that one.
Yeah, sure. Well, and on the top, yeah, it's I really understand why people are kind of love or hate with it, because it's just like all over the place, very colorful. Yeah, which yeah, I like. We'll talk about it later for me, really, but and you mentioned that you liked Bird Mad. What is it?
Bird Mad Girl?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I love that song.
Again, it's really sexy, but
yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Like, it's in a good way.
Yeah,
I think.
But then I also don't like Caterpillar.
Right, and actually, I used to not like that one, but I think I like it more now after listening to it again.
I just think it's goofy.
It is.
Yeah, it's just goofy and weird. Like I kind of picture myself like, would I want to like drive my car or my truck and listen to this?
No.
Not really. And I can't really put myself in any headspace where like what I want to listen to is a song that sounds like that. So, but yeah, it's not like terrible. It's just kind of like goofy. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's cool. So, and that album's really a mixed bag. So, but let's go with number 10.
Number 10.
Probably my first pretty hot take here. Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me.
Ooh, all right. Number 10.
Yeah, I'll put that at 10.
All right. And my number 10 is this one here, Wild Mood Swings. Wait. Yes, that's correct. It's where I put this one. All right.
Okay. Well, when it comes to Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, of course, Just Like Heaven is like an extremely, extremely good song. I mean, I barely notice anything else on the rest of the album.
I don't blame you, honestly.
Yeah. Just Like Heaven's just so much, it's just so much far better than everything else.
So for you, Just Like Heaven, does that just automatically put it above the other 3 for you?
Almost. There are some other standouts, but
really?
Yeah, it's just I would put it above the other 3 because I found it more engaging than the other 3.
Sure. And it is.
Yeah. And it's also more of an artistic feat because it's so long and things. So I like to, I mean, I liked listening to it when I listened to it. But I don't think I like the album very much as a whole, but I didn't find it like a chore to listen to, really.
That's surprising with an album that long.
Yeah. I can sit through it and not be terribly bored. I do want to mention another song that I thought was nice, and every time I hear it, I find myself not liking it at the beginning very much, but I'm like rooting for it. And then it gets like really good as it keeps going. And the song eventually does develop and things. But yeah, it's always like play it, and then it's like, why did I like this again? But then you kind of figure it out as it goes along. That song is track 11 on it, called Hot, Hot, Hot.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool song, but man, other than that, I mean, I'm pretty like mean to a lot of songs on this album. Yeah, I do think it has a lot of great vocals, which to me, The Cure is really Robert Smith. And I think that's kind of a lot of people's opinion. But the vocals are good. It's just these songs, man. And I mean, some of the songs on here, I just wrote like dumb sounding. Like and sometimes I'd be like, yeah, it's another long intro.
Yep.
And the song's not really that good. Like track 1 is literally a 4-minute intro.
Yeah, and I agree that the opener is way too long.
Yeah, who does an opener like that? What's the point?
No. Yeah, that is one thing I'll get there, but one thing I was going to say when I mentioned this album, cuz that's one, like literally the first song you're just waiting for it to end so you can get on with the rest of the album.
True.
At least for me.
You know, I also do like the last 2 songs on the album, but by that point, when listening to the whole album,
just done.
Yeah, it's kind of like whatever. Like, oh yeah, this one's actually kind of decent. Whatever. Oh yeah, that's how I felt about the last 2 songs. But yeah, this album seems kind of like it's like out of touch. Is really what it seems like. It's like it seems like sociopathic in a way, because it just doesn't understand that it's taking too much time to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just kept feeling like, how can a person like think that people want to hear this?
Or who wrote this?
Yeah, like who thinks? I bet a ton of people will want to sit through this. Yeah, I don't understand it. That's it for me. So let's talk about Wild Mood Swing.
So a lot of people put this, at least when looking online at people's rankings, people are putting this one dead last. And, obviously I'm going in with an open mind, but I was like, well, I wonder if I'm going to like hate this. And I didn't, which was good. I think the songs aren't that interesting. There are a few, like which one? Strange Attraction is the one I think I really liked. I think what sells this album for me, well, one being that it's between this one and the top, it is more consistent, and also it has the same kind of energy to the album that they made before it, which is one that I really like. And so I don't know, because for me it is about I want to be engaging, but it is also about the vibe, or I don't know how to describe it. And this one has that, but it's not very engaging, I don't think. But I think it is above the top, simply because, I mean, most of the songs don't suck. They're just kind of like, I guess. But so, I mean, I don't know, because that's the thing. Like, sometimes I'll listen to a song and be like, wow, this is cool, but then I'll be like, oh, it's just too long, because some, especially ones in like towards, like you said with Kiss Me, like you get to the end and you're just like, oh, whatever, I guess. I expect this one to change at some point maybe with the albums above it. I don't know, but yeah, I definitely liked it, or I liked. There were like ones that were like entire songs I thought were interesting. Yeah, I think that's basically it for that one.
Sure.
I'm interested to see where you put it, just because I guess a lot of like Cure fans like hate it, I guess. And I can see why, but it wasn't like horrible for me or anything. And that's the thing, like, even with my least favorite Bloodflowers, like I could at least see what they were doing. Like I just, kind of selfishly at the time, I just didn't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
But there aren't many that I think I like outright I think are like terrible or anything. Depends on the day.
Not wanting to listen to the Bloodflowers not wanting to really listen to a Cure album and then having to listen to the Blood Flowers isn't a good combo.
Right.
So that makes sense. And yeah, I agree this is better than the top. Because obviously that's like the comparison. And I agree that it's better. But it's not yet on my list. So
cool.
Yeah, well, going to number 9.
Number 9.
Yep. Let's go with another hot take. Disintegration.
Ooh. All right. Let's put it there. Number 9 for your boy.
By the way, is the first Cure album on my list that I like as an album. So
you do like it.
Yeah.
So
I do.
from here on out, it's you actually want to listen to things.
I do. And here it is. Disintegration.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, I remember when you bought it. No, you called me on your phone, and you were at I think you were at Goodwill or Salvation.
Yeah.
Army. This is the discs I bought, and I was like, oh, because I got excited about that one. My number 9 is, my number 9 and number 8 flip back and forth. But my number 9 is The Cure. This one here, their self-titled one. Right, quick. Okay, well, you have to defend yourself now, because every Cure fan watching this video is not happy with why? Yeah. So what do you think about this album? I'm actually super interested.
I think that there is a significant jump in quality between Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me and Disintegration. The quality goes way up, to be clear, obviously. But I like to listen to this whole album. And even though I think the reason that Cure fans like it so much, well, maybe it's like a combination of things. I think it's like the whole vibes thing that I'm not super into, but then it's also that they're super interested in like Robert Smith, because this album takes a lot of time for him to be emotionally sappy about things and just take his time and express. And I like that stuff, but I don't understand it as much as the people who are really into the vibe thing, like the same people who probably also like the War on Drugs or something. I just don't like that stuff. Right. So, but yeah, I really do like to listen to this album. But yeah, just not as much as those people, because I think this album really is, put this on the record player and just it's like a mood, It
is. Oh, it for sure is.
Yeah. And it's a strong mood. It achieves what it's trying to achieve. It just so happens that it's not my favorite thing.
Sure. No, that's
but
cool.
I think it's very successful. I like a lot about it. Let me find it. So there's let's see. I really liked Love Song, obviously. And then I also really liked the song called Lullaby. That's probably another highlight to me, which maybe it's my favorite, but also Love Song is like a pretty dang rad song.
Favorite Cure song or favorite on the album?
The album.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what my favorite Cure song was. I'm sure it'll come up and I'll probably talk about it. I forgot though. Yeah, but it's really nice. That song is Lullaby. And then, I just like to listen to the rest. But then there's also like moments where it's just like another, like this album's like story arc or like energy arc doesn't really make sense to me. Because it'll just be one kind of long and dreary song. And then you expect it to like do something else, but then it just does the same thing.
Right.
And it's like, that's exactly what this album didn't need. But it's still like successful in the strong mood thing, but it's just, another thing like that, but it's the Cure. So it comes with the territory, really. So, yeah, that's Disintegration for me. I like it a lot. I own it.
Cool.
And it's the first one. Yeah, it's the first. So like from 9 up, I like as albums,
Cool.
and I care about them as albums.
Cool.
So, okay, your turn.
Okay.
So The Cure, self-titled.
Right. Yeah. Again, this is one people put really low.
Yep.
But well, I mean, I guess I put all low, like the later ones. Anything in the late '90s, basically anything. The kind of vibe I was getting, or what I was discovering, was anything after Wish. People just put at the bottom. But this one, and reading about it, seeing that's stylistically very different, but I liked a lot of it. I think it's, and I'm not really into, well, not that I'm not into metal, I just don't know a lot about it, and this isn't like a metal album by any means, I wouldn't say, but it does kind of have that influence. I think some of the lyrics or some of the vocals are really interesting. The last song, The Promise, which is 10 minutes, I was looking at that and seeing that in the track list and being like, wow, that's a Cure song that's 10 minutes. That's going to be a drain to listen to, but I actually really like that. Probably most of the entire song I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot to like about this album. But again, it's just, there's not a lot to understand. So something to just go back and revisit. You actually, well, kind of spoiling things, but I know that you own it, so I'd like to download it from you. I think that'd be cool.
You spoiled that I own it, Joe. But yeah, I do. It's here.
Yeah.
So.
But I remember that because I was there when you bought it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because at the time I hadn't listened to it yet, and I was like, oh, cool. So
right.
But yeah, I guess and this one I was going back and forth a lot with my number 8 choice here. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say with, because I like them for different reasons is why. But
okay. You sound generally positive toward it.
I do, yeah, and which is surprisingly, because I didn't think I was gonna hate it, but with the number of albums I thought were like really good, I didn't think I was gonna like it that much. Or yeah, and that's the thing, like I don't read reviews so I can like form my opinion on them. I read stuff so I can be like, oh, like this is what this is gonna be like, and this is what people say about it, and then go in and be like, okay, what do I actually think about this?
Yeah, it makes sense to me why like the Cure fans, like from that time period when the Cure was, really popping,
right,
on top of the world and all. It makes sense to me why those people don't like this one. Yeah, and I understand what you mean with like the metal idea. It does have significantly more things like distorted guitars and like dissonance and things that I like a lot. So yeah, you'll have to wait and see where it lands on my list. So sweet, man, let's go to number 8. For me, it's Pornography.
Pornography, 1982. This one right here, my number 8 was Three Imaginary Boys. This one.
Wow.
Line that up. Okay. Yeah, Pornography.
Yeah, man. This album does the post-punk thing really well, but then it's also The Cure. Robert Smith sounds super stinking good on it. Yeah, I really like listening to this one just kind of for the vocals in a way.
Cool.
Because like I think that the songs to me are stronger than they are on Disintegration, because they're less like they're a little bit less the hazy thing, but they still are,
Right.
They really are similar, which is why they kind of land similar on my list. To me, it's a good kind of thing to compare. And I think it would be strange to me if someone placed Disintegration and Pornography too far apart on their list.
Right.
I think I would kind of be like, what's going on there? But maybe somebody does, and I'd be glad to hear about it. But yeah, I basically just think it's stronger than Disintegration. But
Cool.
I feel a lot of the same ways about it that I've already kind of expressed.
Right.
I also think that it's more like it's slightly more uppity. You know, it's not as depressing. Or
Cool.
you know, it's just a different mood, basically.
It is.
And it has like some it has a lot of moments really where I just really like the sound of it.
Cool.
So I think that it comes pretty early in their discography. You know, it's number 4. Yeah, 4. After Faith. And it's a good step for The Cure, really, in their career. So
Cool. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'll say. I mean, well, there are, maybe I'll say my favorite song on it, I guess. It's Siamese Twins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which, given, well, I don't know. Hanging Garden actually might be my favorite song on it, now that I just really think about it. Yeah, probably Hanging Garden, but I like both. And I like to listen to this album, but it's not actually one that I own right now. So
Cool.
yeah. So we'll go to Three Imaginary Boys. Now, you liked this apparently significantly more than I did, and I kind of find maybe I'll talk about that later. I find your placement funny for some reasons. And, you know, other than just that it's my last place, but we'll get into that later.
Sure. And that's the thing, because all my albums so far are like all like, I would say they're all completely different. But yeah, this one is, you know, I like that that, you know, kind of post-punk, more like, it does have like a punk feel to me, kind of sound. I think the songs are catchy for me. I like that sometimes, like the one, I think my favorite one is The Grinding Halt, I think is that one.
Really?
Where the bass, like the bass kind of carries the melody in that, and it really just gets going.
It has that post-punk bass sound.
Right, and
that's nice, yeah.
And me, you know, thinking like being a bass player, liking what the bass does and that, like I imagine, but I mean, you're right, it is like they didn't find their sound really, really just was not there yet. And there are moments on there where I'm like, what did they just do? Like a sound that really just not fit, or it seems pretentious, I think what you mentioned earlier.
Well, I just think they really think that their ideas are good, but they're not.
Right.
Basically, yeah. Something like pretentious, I guess. Yeah.
Right. You know, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like really great or anything, but what am I gonna say? I still like it. I still find things to like about it. Maybe one I want to go listen to more. I think I put it above The Cure, the self-titled, just because I know it more and I find it more accessible or easier to hear. But I mean, those two, like, I just kept going back and forth on those two. I'm like, man, like, I don't know. You haven't said The Cure yet, so you may even convince me to put it higher. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
But what else was I gonna say about this one? So I think this one's interesting. I think I almost also like it more of the history of it, which really doesn't make sense, because I mean, obviously every band has a first album, every band has a debut, but just seeing this here, knowing what was kind of going on at the time with, I mean, it's not really, I wouldn't really compare it to the Police, but like the Police making out like their first album in the '70s or like late '70s, that same kind of time period, I guess, which I don't like that one like a lot either, but I like it more. I own the disc. But I don't know, you know, I like how I like how minimalistic it is, because they're like, you know, you hear not just you hear the bass, you hear the bass a lot and where it's carrying. You hear the guitars, but again, that same reason is something I think it's not as strong, and there's just not a lot there, I think. You know, when you said it should have been left in the garage, I kind of agree. But I don't know. I think some of the songs are just weird. The Jimi Hendrix cover, the Foxy Lady, I I like that song or the Jimi Hendrix one, but I don't like their cover of it really. It just seems odd.
Yeah, that song made me mad.
Well, you being like I like Jimi Hendrix, but you being like a huge Hendrix fan, because I was listening and I was like, what is this? Like, what even is this?
Yeah, it's just that's the song that makes me angry. It's interesting, but I hate it. Yeah. It's like you don't do that to that song.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah. Like just sitting here thinking about how good Foxy Lady by Jimi Hendrix is.
Yeah.
It's like just sitting here thinking about it, like I just want to start talking about that song. But then I think about the Cure's version of it.
Their interpretation,
It's just crap, man.
Yeah.
You just don't step up to that level if you don't got it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so you were talking a lot about how you can really hear the bass on this album. I was gonna say, where did your bass go?
I threw it away during the intro.
Oh, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. So let's go ahead and talk about number 7 on our list.
All right.
So for me, number 7, 413 Dream.
This one, this is yours. Making sure he's going the right place. Okay, my number 7 is 17 Seconds. This one.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were going to do with that one. Interesting, yeah. So, gosh, 413 Dream. I pretty much think that it's an engaging album. Pretty much all the way through. And I think there's actually a ton of good songwriting in it. I kind of think by this point in the Cure's career, nobody really cared about the songwriting. It's weird, man. I thought the songwriting on this album was good, really
cool.
Nice, and it's definitely no embarrassment to the Cure that this is their last album. And I think even people who strongly dislike it probably feel the same way. It seems like you put it lower on your list, but I don't think you feel that negatively toward it, really.
No, I wouldn't say it's not that I know it's their final album because they're still around, but for their latest album, I was expecting them to make another one like Blood Flowers, or even if it's not hazy, just super boring. But I do like you mentioned the songwriting, because that is a good point. I think there is I think vocally there's a lot that's interesting on it.
Okay, yeah. Oh man, and okay, so track 2 and 3 are my favorites on it.
Ooh.
Those tracks are called The Only One and The Reasons Why. Probably The Reasons Why is my favorite song on the whole thing. I think the end, especially of The Reasons Why, the end is awesome.
Yeah, I'll go back and
really awesome.
Well, like I said, I want to revisit every album, but I'll go back and hear those 2 songs for sure.
Sure. And then I think there's other parts of the album that are kind of just unkempt. It just kind of sounds like a lot all at once. You could say that maybe about what's it called? It's whatever the last song on it is. It's Over.
It's Over, yeah. That's how I felt about that one.
It's just kind of a lot, man. Yeah. Sleep When I'm Dead is really cool. But yeah, I feel generally really positive about this one. I'd also like to own the one called Pornography. And this one.
You don't want to own Pornography?
Not really. No, just the disc.
Dude, my favorite is Pornography. It's sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah. Don't say that around your mother.
Just too many bad jokes in my head.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know why it's called that either.
Actually, I don't know if you saw my mom just walked in. She was doing something in the closet or something.
That's funny. Cool. Your son likes pornography the best. Yeah, so, well, 17 seconds.
Yeah, so for this one, yeah, I do feel like it is a significant step forward, but they're still trying to, because it sounds like The Cure, but I still think they're trying to find their sound, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of the songs I really like. I think Play for Today. I think the third one's Secrets. The Forest I really enjoy, even though it does have like that, 17-minute intro, it feels like. A lot of it, because those songs, some of those really develop and do like super cool, interesting things. A lot of the songs, while they sound good, they don't really develop or really go anywhere. I think it almost sounds like, most of the songs, just because there is an interlude one, but most of the songs literally do feel like interludes where it's just like, I'm just waiting for this to transition to this, and there's this song in between, but it's just like this constant just transition into something. And that's because the songs don't really, but I still enjoy this one. I think that it is it's interesting because in some ways it's like a step up from their Three Imaginary Boys, but in some ways it isn't. It's just different. But
Sounds like The Cure.
I know, but this, and the album isn't even that long either. But there's enough like nothingness that just happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think
it does drag.
It does, yeah. It just feels like, and like that's the thing. I went back and listened. Well, I listened to it a while ago and thought it was pretty cool. And I listened to it again recently, and I was like, I don't really like this. So let me hear it again. And then I liked it more. So I'm still kind of all over the place on this one, but I do feel pretty confident with ranking it here at this spot based on everything above it is just so much better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a jam. That's the thing. It is not the jam. Like, there's a time and a place for an album like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like if I'm gonna put on some music to listen to, I'm not just like crazy, like, oh man, let me hear that 17 seconds pop my head. That's just not what it is.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yep. So yeah, number 6. We are past the halfway point.
That's true.
Yeah, and I have no idea how long our video is so far.
Well, actually, I was gonna ask at your time limit, which I don't remember the time limit is either. But does it when it stops recording, does it save, or do you have to, or does it save automatically when it cuts you off?
I don't know. We'll figure that out.
We'll find out.
I can see that it still says recording at the top, so we're okay. I think. But
yeah, because pause and share recording here, or I guess
yeah.
It's also weird. Well, just Zoom stuff because I'm still figuring everything out. Most of the time, the Zoom menu is down here on the bottom, but when I'm in Microsoft Word, it just throws it at the top. I don't know why. It's kind of irritating because the Word menu is at the top, as you see here. But I guess, well, guys.
Let's talk about this at the halfway point. So we have seen the bottom half of each other's lists. You mad? I'm a little mad. I
actually really understand everything you said. Just knowing you and like what you find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I knew we were gonna like. There's 3 albums that we share in the. Wait, no, that's not true. 17 Seconds, 300 Boys, Dream. Okay, there's actually 4. At first I thought there were only like 2 albums we shared in the lower half, but there's 4. I love looking at this. That's probably why I'm not like mad. Just because I love comparing, and I love that you did this with all the freaking pictures. I think it's so cool. And on top of that, you put them at the top, or the chronological thing.
Yeah, that's good to look at, isn't it?
Really like this. Yeah. If I was watching a video like this, I'd be super interested.
Cool. All right, thanks.
Not just because there's so much to look at, but I guess just because they're all albums and we're pitting them against each other.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a fun way to do it. But yeah, I guess I'm a little bit upset because you put a lot of the colorful stuff down there.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Then there's one album that I think is really colorful that I put super high, I would say, but obviously not. Yeah, that's the thing, and part of it is just like maybe it's just like not understanding it as well. I don't know, but it's just like but obviously hearing your recommendations makes me want to go back and hear like some of the songs because it's like, oh, like I want to hear this again.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe I'll, even if I don't like it, which I might like it, but even if I don't like it, I'll find something more in it.
Yeah, I definitely expect to like watch this video back in the future just to hear some of the stuff that you're saying, so I can be like, huh, I wonder.
Well, I'm probably gonna look back on this in the future and be like, wow, I'm a complete idiot. Like that album's way too low, or that album's way too high, or
that too. Yeah.
Which I will for sure be doing.
Yeah, probably me too. Yeah. But all right, number 6.
Number 6. Faith. Okay. My 6 is also Faith.
What?
Oh, guys!
Oh! Wow. Well, 2 faithful brethren. Man.
Which I'm actually surprised. I thought you were gonna put that one. I don't know, but I thought you were gonna put that one higher. But yes, Faith. We finally have the same thing to talk about.
I think the first thing I'd like to say about Faith is that it's the first good post-punk album by The Cure. Yeah, it's basically great. And it's concise, which is nice. And every song gives me something. Wait, I almost just rhymed twice in a row, so I'm going to commit to it.
Okay.
It's concise, which is nice, and every song gives me something strong. So
just drop the mic.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say. All right. All right. So what's their number 5? we just move on.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. This song's cool. The vocals are finally like awesome too. Here and kind of continuing from here, the vocals are great. Yeah, man. I like to listen to this song as an album, dividing it into tracks. Like it sort of has highlights for me. I definitely do. Like I really like Primary, like that's certainly like a highlight, and it's like designed to be a highlight, Also, Doubt is really an excellent song. But yeah, I listened to this album. Well, this is an album that I knew pretty well actually before we ranked things. This is one that I kind of visited because when I've looked into like post-punk in the past, this is one that is discussed, and so it's one that I've kind of known, and so I guess I've sat with it for longer than other Cure albums. Maybe it's the Cure album I've sat with for the longest amount of time, actually, out of the whole discography. Maybe that's the case. I'm not certain about that because there's other ones more towards the top that's more true for, maybe, but I don't know. I like it. Cool. It's good. So you probably don't necessarily disagree with anything I just said.
Yeah, I guess I want to say, yeah, I like how it is, because 17 Seconds, the one before it, kind of tries to do the same, I guess, concept or same idea where it's all one song, but I feel like, well, I still like that one. I feel like it doesn't work or feel as strong on that one. This one is, I think they nailed that, or at least they nailed it as their sound, really finding their sound on this one. Side A, I really like. I think that's that 3 in a row. Primary, Other Voices, and All Cats Are Gray. And then the first one on side B, Funeral Party. It's either All Cats Are Gray or Funeral Party. I don't remember which one because they're side by side, but I think it's one of those two is my favorite, where it's just gets really quiet, but you hear this like da da da. It's kind of like, and it is a vibe, but it's like super exciting for me, and I always whenever I hear it, I don't remember which one.
It's
but whenever I hear Funeral Party, okay,
yeah,
because whenever I hear that, I literally just stop, and I'm like, holy crap, like, what is that?
Yeah, listen to that part loud.
I know, like, turn it up, but yeah, the whole album, it just feels very consistent. Also, not every song is an interlude, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's dramatic. There's like some real drama to this album. Yeah. Which The Cure is kind of dramatic, and so that's an important thing here.
Right.
Well,
next meme.
Yeah.
Die.
Number 5.
Number five.
The top.
The top.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. The top. Yes. Exact. My number 5 is freaking list. Sorry, I was still looking at the other album. My number 5 is Pornography. Right here. Yes.
All right, man. So yeah, the top. Yeah, whenever I was like going through the Cure discography, I like heard the first 3, and then I got to the first 4, I should say, and then you get to the top, and after listening to the 4 first albums of the Cure, and then you get to the top, some of my like initial notes of like track 1 and track 2 were like, this is actually a really unique song for the Cure. And then I realized it was how the whole album was going. Also, apparently my laptop's gonna die.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm literally plugged in right now. Brittany.
Is it running through battery even though it's charging?
I don't know.
Should I stop the recording?
Not necessarily. I think Brittany's helping me out.
Is it working? I don't hear anything.
Now you do.
Now I do. Yes.
Yeah. My mic was muted, so yeah,
Is it
we're
charging?
back. Yep.
That's weird.
Apparently, it just hasn't been charging this entire time.
Good.
Oh, fantastic. Brittany, why is this up here now?
Sure.
I want to
let me make sure I'm charging here. Okay, good. Says it's charging. So,
okay. Yeah, thanks.
Back into it.
Okay, cool. So, I might crop that, or I might get lazy, or I might like put a thing that says skip to whatever.
Okay. Well, if you don't edit this video, it's going to be like 3 hours.
I hope so.
Which, by the way, I love, even like just talking about this in full. I love every second of it.
Yeah, it's fun. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. When it comes to top, like I said, yeah, I thought it. Like I started taking notes on it. Like, this is a really unique song for the Cure. They don't really do anything that sounds like this. And then I made the same note again on track 2. And then you get into it a little bit more, and you realize that it's not going to stop. But man, this album had me pretty sold. I don't know. Here's kind of something. I think I like this album kind of similar to the way I like an Animal Collective album.
Yeah.
The weird and colorfulness of it. Just a lot of kind of stranger ideas and artfulness. Sometimes I don't love everything they do. Like whenever The Cure does like their impressions of like a certain culture's music, to me, that stuff is pretty much always wrong. But and that happens on the top some. It also does happen on Wild Mood Swings, I noticed. Do they just do certain kinds of music that I just think, I don't know, just doesn't, it sounds like a caricature of certain like cultures. It's kind of
Yeah. Well, the top is have this very I hate to call it world music, but have this very worldly feel or of other cultures, like you said. And in some places, I think they do nail it, or it does get pretty good on this one.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes just too on the nose. But a lot of their experimenting is cool to me.
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, the Bird Mad Girl song. Right, girl? Yeah, Bird Mad Girl. Track 2. That song is really high on my list of Cure songs.
Cool.
Gosh, also, what's the other one that I really like? It's the Banana Fish Bones. That song is rad. Yeah. Yeah, it's the top. It's crazy. Like, I can't feel too strongly positive about it because it's so weird.
It is.
But I like to listen to it.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I'd like to eventually own it.
Cool. Yeah. That was one that I because like I heard the first 2 songs and I was sold. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be an awesome album, and then the rest of it just wasn't there. Like, at least for me, I couldn't get into it. But then like I said, I wish I could put this album higher. And you put it 5th, which I actually really admire that. I like that. And I'm glad you're into it.
Yeah, it's the engaging thing, I just it catches my attention. Yeah. And when it's The Cure, that's a unique situation.
Cool.
Yeah, because with a lot of these lower albums, like I spent a lot of time listening to The Cure when it just felt like I was kind of sitting around waiting for something to happen. I might even be bold enough to make the claim that maybe like if you time your entire discography is intros that are too long.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. It's just there's a lot of fat to trim off of The Cure to me. But the top is more engaging, so I'm in. But cool. Yeah, so for you, pornography.
Yes, yeah, pornography. So I really like this one. Actually, yes, I own this one. You can see it
Pretty.
Here. Actually, and here's the back. I think the back's also cool with the like swirling images. Actually, I can just look at the tracks here. I've got the disc. Yeah, this one, I really enjoy this one. I really like the first, I like every song. I think my favorite is either Hanging Garden. I like that on Siamese Twins. I like the opener. I really like the last song as well, the title track, Pornography, because it just gets bigger and bigger, and it's like, and then it just stops, and like that's the end of the album, and that like just blows my mind every time I listen to it. And it's weird because like I don't like things that are scary. Like I don't really watch scary movies or whatever, but this album, because I literally just don't. Well, I just get scared really easily. But this one, I like it. It's just this freakish nightmare. Like you feel like, it's to sound weird, but like you feel like you're in a black hole, or like you're descending into hell, or just something just terrifying like that. I like how unsettling it is. I would put it higher. The reason I put it 5th is because I have to be like in the right mood to listen to it. Like, I guess maybe like, not that I got lucky at the time I listened to it, but like, it's not something I can just casually throw on or something. Like if I'm not in the right mood at all, I probably, just won't find it interesting at all. But when I really get into it as like an entire album or an entire disc, I really enjoy it. Yeah, this one, I bought it because I think it was like $5. And I didn't even know what heard of it. And I knew it was one that a lot of Cure fans like. I didn't know what it was. I only knew like I make maybe one song on it. I bought it and I ended up really liking it. So
sure.
But yeah, I'm really glad I own it. And this is where, well, probably Faith as well, but this is where I think the albums get really good for me, like the top 5 and the top 6.
I would say I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite on the love train with the top. I'm not quite there. Yeah.
But yeah, like just talking about this makes me want to listen to it like right now. Like just turn it on. And...
Sure. It's a cool one. Yeah, I like this one. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting that like I like how scary it is, and it's funny because I was like, my parents like The Cure. I should tell my mom about this, and I was like, my mom would not like this at all. I think she likes the Hanging Garden. It's on that singles disc that they don't have it anymore, but I have it downloaded.
Yeah.
I think she'd like that one, but I don't see her liking a lot of other stuff on it. But I like it.
Yeah. Well, before we move on, I'd like to point out that the albums that are remaining for you they seem to be in a common era.
Yes. No, you are 100% correct.
Yeah, that's interesting.
For the albums that are left for you, there are two of them that kind of makes me mad that they're this high.
Yeah, it as like a non-Cure guy going into this discography, I definitely landed in some places that I've discovered on the internet are weird places to land. So, yeah.
And I wasn't mad you put, well, not like mad. I wasn't really, because I understood why you put, disintegration pornography lower, but like, I don't know. We'll get there. We'll get there. Because I'm interested and I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. And that is cool. Because, even if I, for example, if I liked Wild Mood Swings that much, I don't think I'd be brave enough to put it that high just because, but like, you don't care what people think at all. So you're just like, whatever, which I really like.
Just, yeah, it's honesty.
It is,
it's just where I landed with it. Yeah.
No, for sure.
But yeah. So number 4, yeah, it's Wild Mood Swings for me.
Wild Mood Swings?
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, thank you.
Which, I think they have to be next to each other. You put them next to each other. Makes sense to me why.
Oh, you're right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that. Yeah.
They're so similar. Yeah.
So
what's yours?
My number 4 is Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. Kiss Me.
Yeah. That's weird to me.
Well, it was funny because when we talked before, you're like, it could be in the top 3. I don't know. And
yeah,
it's my number 4.
Yeah, I mentioned to you, this was the one that I knew. I thought you were going to like it. Really.
Yeah, you knew I was going to like it.
Yeah. But, okay, man. Wild Mood Swings. So this album has kind of some it has some songs that are pretty terrible, really. Then also, basically, I think it starts pretty bad, kind of tasteless. It kind of starts, especially, man. I'm going over it. The song. The 13th is horrible. This song sucks. It just seems so tasteless and weird without a reason. But yeah, and I think this album picks up for me really at track 6, honestly. And it's such a long album that I felt like it was okay. Because as it goes along, I really, really like a lot of the stuff on it. And this is really the first Cure album where they just don't care about their fans.
Right.
Yeah, and you can just tell there's such a weird divide between it and Wish, because the Wish is a Cure album, but then Wild Mood Swings is let's just dink around,
right,
and come up with something that we just think is interesting, and then release it under the name The Cure and see what everyone's gonna think.
Right.
Yeah, I really like it, but I basically don't even treat it like a Cure album. Yeah.
You're right. Also, look at, this is funny. Well, I don't mean to interrupt, but look at your number 4 and my number 4 and your number 10 and my number 10.
Yeah.
They're the same.
Yeah, that's goofy. But yeah,
there
Wild
is stuff to
Neutral,
like on it for sure.
dude. There's
Yeah,
a lot of really strong stuff. I think.
Yeah, there were some songs for me. I was like, wow, that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
not
I
just
found
parts of
myself.
songs, like whole songs.
hmm I found, yeah, once it starts on track 6, like the first songs I think are good, but I don't think it really picks up.
Mhm.
But then, like, yeah, like I said, number 4, the 13th song, that was
Yeah.
like, I think I might hate this whole album. But then I kept going, and
Yeah.
yeah, that 6th, I kind of just really, really felt positive about basically the rest of
Cool.
it.
Cool.
Yeah, even some of the longer stuff, which I normally haven't enjoyed by The Cure up to this point, I start liking some of the longer stuff on the albums too. So,
Cool.
all right, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, which is one that I said earlier feels sociopathic. So,
It does. Yeah. It is. Well, I mean, they're all really long. We keep saying that, but this one in particular, there's so many songs. It feels like they were throwing a lot on here. I like most of the songs. I think it's, as I listened to it more and broke it down more, I found more things to like about it. It is very poppy, like pop heavy, I think. But I overall enjoy it. It does it does sound like I guess it does sound like a Cure album, which is the reason I like it. But what I think, I don't know, just seems more like something they would put out, even if it's like way different in some ways.
It's nice vocals. It's nice.
It is.
Vocals.
It sounds nice. It's fun. As you can see, what I've put towards my some of the ones I have up here before going onward. Some of them they're just really fun. Some of it rocks. I really like the song. Well, I think there's enough on here that I enjoy that I like putting it this. I can put it this high. I really like, what's the one? The Perfect Girl. I think that song is amazing. The only thing I don't like about it is, honestly, ironically, I think it's too short. That one is like a straight pop rock kind of a, something you throw on at a party or something. But I
Interesting.
think it's super pretty. All the different parts in that. I feel like, yeah, obviously, just like Heaven mentioned that one. I've always liked that song.
I thought The Perfect Girl was boring, but I mean, it makes me want to listen to it again.
Yeah. Well, just like Heaven is actually one. It's just, obviously, it's one of their, like, arguably they're one of the most famous songs ever. But it's one I bought on iTunes when I was in like middle school, I think. So I've always really liked it.
Yeah, just like that's one I knew early on.
It's kind of like well, not like just because it's long, but it's kind of like Melancholy in the Infinite Sadness. Is that the more I listen to, I actually like it more because I find more things to discover about it.
Well, yeah, that's a good comparison because it's so long.
And it's just freaking long.
Yeah, the whole, yeah, that makes sense. I love Melancholy.
I also like, and while there are more songs, the songs themselves are shorter, which makes it easier to get to. Because, like, some of these albums are like there's 10 songs, but they're all like 9 minutes each, or was what it feels like.
Yeah. Yep.
So this is one I don't own, but I'd like to own at some point. Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Well, let's go to number 3. We've reached the bronze medal
Top 3,
position.
yes.
I think we should start guessing. So I think for you, your order. I think you'll put Disintegration next.
Okay. And are you guessing my 3, 2, 1 or just my 3?
I'll just guess your 3 for now.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's do it. Let's commit. I'll guess your 3, 2, 1, but I have to think harder about that one. Dang. Okay.
I don't know how to guess for you at all. See what you have left.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But it's all the. Yeah, I don't know, man. So my guess for you, I'm like pretty confident that you're gonna like Head on the Door the best. It's your number 1. I'm pretty confident about that one. And but you might like Disintegration better than Wish. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Disintegration third, Wish 2, Head on the Door 1 for you. That's my guess.
Wait, so your guess is, I'm not gonna put it in the spot. Disintegration, Head on the Door, Wish. Is that what you said?
No, Wish is in second for you.
Okay.
Is my guess. And then Head on the Door to me is probably your favorite.
Okay, so for your guess, I don't even know where you put this one, but I'm gonna hope you put it third.
Right. Probably every single Cure fan is hoping it's
every
third.
person watching this is like, please don't let that be any higher. It's no, and not the album's bad.
Everyone's already clicked off the video.
I know. Everyone's like, we can't let that get any higher.
Yeah.
No.
Everyone's hitting the dislike button in hopes that it will change something. Yeah.
Dude, no. And then, oh gosh, well, I don't know, because thinking of what I could be wrong, but I think I'm gonna guess for you Wish, and then Head on the Door. But I could see either one being above each other, or like ahead. So, all right. So, what's your number 3?
Okay, my number 3 and 2 spot are so close, really. The Head on the Door is number 3.
So that's gonna go right here. So I'm still, I guess you're 1 and 2. I still, I'm like, I need this to be second place. No.
Yeah, if
I
they
pretty
didn't
much
click off the video.
No, yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
No, but so my third is actually, it is Wish. Is my third one here. Is this one.
Yeah.
So
Disintegration's a classic, yeah. Okay, interesting.
That's the only reason. If anyone hasn't clicked off, hi. If anyone hasn't clicked off, it's because I have still Disintegration there.
Yeah, probably. That's funny. Well, man, the Head on the Door.
Yes.
It's kind of perfect, isn't it?
It is. Yes.
That's why it's so weird for me to put it below Wish, because I actually don't exactly think that Wish is quite perfect.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I think that Wish does some other things that make it stand out more to me.
Cool. Yeah.
Because obviously I'm just I think I kind of just spoiled it, Wish is second place.
Oh man. Here, let's go ahead.
Yeah, you might as well. So
here.
Yeah, because really the 2 and 3 spot.
There's 2.
Yeah.
And these albums are really close. Yeah.
I have to talk about them together because they're really hard to decide for me. But I ended up deciding to go with Wish as second place above Head on the Door, because I think that Wish has some really strong things. Whereas the Head on the Door is just generally an excellent listen.
Right.
I guess for me it's kind of like this. I might compare it to my feelings about the Rage Against the Machine discography, where Evil Empire is my favorite album of theirs, but their debut, the self-titled, is a perfect album.
It's true. Yeah.
But I still like Evil Empire better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because it's Evil Empire has some kind of wild ideas, But when you think about Rage Against the Machine's debut, the whole album sounds the same.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a lot of interesting things on that album. Not like it's mundane in any way. And in the same way, Head on the Door is not mundane in any way. But it's just there's just some more interesting ideas on Wish to me than Head on the Door. But Head on the Door really is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I still think that Head on the Door is your first place. We'll see.
Okay. So, do you want me to do my top 2 now?
Sure.
So, I'm going to be super basic here, but Head on the Door is my second, and then Disintegration is my my favorite one
Huh.
right
Okay.
here, which I know that's a favorite for a lot of people. But I guess I'll start with Head on the Door because that's what I want to talk about. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love. I mean, not just because it's short, but just the it has this like quick pacing to it. I guess every song is just like really nice.
It's jams.
Yeah, it is, and yeah, it makes you want to like rock out. And let me see, yeah, because they did, yeah, and they did, yeah, okay, I was referring to your list at the top. Head on the Door, Kiss Me, and then Disintegration, and then Wish. I was thinking it was Head on the Door and then Disintegration, but I really like the song Push. I think that song is just phenomenal, and I could listen to it all day. And I always find something interesting I like. Um, yeah, just yeah, every song is just it's great. Um, so I guess going back to Wish, which I own, this one here. And then this is the back. It's got the eye, and also I just noticed this. I really like the actual disc. You know, it's got that like circle, or I don't know what you call it. Just is really, I don't think it looks pretty. But anyway, the album itself, I actually listened to it on the way back from Pittsburgh on Monday because I drove down there and got my stuff and came back.
Yeah.
I feel like it isn't as strong as the Head on the Door, just because it's not like, I don't feel like the same way about like every song on this one, and not just because it's longer, just because it's not maybe it's because there's more songs, I don't know, but I still think it's fantastic. I really like the song High. I think is my favorite one. um oh gosh, yeah, obviously, I mean, you know, everyone knows Friday I'm in Love, but that's another one that takes me back.
That song's amazing.
The what's it, Doing the Unstuck, Letter to Elise, Transform, Wish Impossible Things. But that's the thing, like it's another one where it's like, you know, I always find interesting, well, I find interesting about all of these, like discovering, but like this one in particular, it's
Yeah.
like, oh wow, like that's freaking, like that's super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, these two are very close, and actually I do think Head on the Door is very close to my number one. Like I do think I don't know, might be my number one at some point, just because I'm assuming my opinions are going to change, just like in general. So I
Yeah.
guess if you don't have anything else to say about those two, tell me about your number one.
No, well, real quick, I think, yeah, it's
Oh, and In Between Days. I love that song.
yeah, sure. That's a nice one.
On the
And
Head on
I
the Door.
agree with what you said about High too. Yeah. It's very nice. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, Wish and Head on the Door are really hard to rank. Okay. I will now tell you about this hot take. Oh yeah, I also on Wish wanted to show this.
Oh yes.
Also, our discs I think look different.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, mine looks like that.
Oh, weird. Yeah, mine's like oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it's like show yours again.
Because mine's like with the
Yours is brighter red.
yeah.
What's what's it say on the back of your case anyway? Like what year did it come out? Is it some kind of reissue or something?
It just says 1992.
Yeah,
There
me too.
there may be another year somewhere on here, but I don't know. I'd have to look through it, look through this, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just I don't want to look through it right now. But I'll check that out at some point.
Yeah. Well,
Because it makes me wonder if there were like other colors that they like would have released or something.
sure. Okay. Let's talk about the self-titled Cure album that's at my number one spot.
Yes.
I don't understand the hate for it. I don't at all.
Sure.
I came to the conclusion that it is a perfect album. You
Really?
know? Yeah. And I actually think that it's like, I mean, I would kind of rather listen to it than a lot of The Cure.
Yeah.
It is really different, so that kind of makes sense. Also, you made the kind of metal comparison earlier,
Right.
where it's heavier, and has more distorted guitars and is more dissonant. And I mean, I have a Car Bomb shirt on right now. Like,
Yep.
this is a really cool blend for me of
Right.
I mean, dude, track 1 is one of my favorite Cure songs. Really? Which, like, the first time I heard it, I was like, they're just letting it be dissonant the whole time.
Yeah. They're
just letting it sit there and sound nasty. And I thought that was really interesting, and I really, really liked it and respected the choice. So I'm a huge fan of track 1, which probably I could see most Cure fans hearing that song and be like, this isn't even close to pretty. You know? It's not even close. Man, it's a grimy kind of album, but it's so confident. And a lot of the artistic choices on this album, I think, are more musically interesting than a lot of what The Cure has ever done. Because, you know, The Cure, they stay in their kind of pop lane a lot, or their post-punk lane. And it's, you know, but on this album, it's very dissonant and harmonically interesting. And also, I love every song. And I was nervous because I was loving it so much that I thought I would go through it and find something I didn't love as much. And I really just didn't. I mean, I really, right from the beginning straight through to the very end, including the last song, which is that really long one. And when I got there, I was like, why did they have to do this? I enjoyed the whole album until this. But I just didn't even predict I would care about this long song. And I love it.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I do really I think I got more interested like the second half because the songs are just like, I don't know. I just found it really, I mean, it's because it is completely different. But some of those later songs I just thought were very good. It, you know, and it left me thinking like, oh, like what's going to happen next? What are they going to do next with this? Because you did say, that's a super good way of describing it. It's very confident.
Yeah, it is. They do some bold stuff on this. And it's like, where did it even come from is how I feel about it. But, you know, not being like a Cure fan for years and years and years, it didn't slap me in the face so hard. You know, like it probably did a lot of Cure fans. Because I'm really trying to understand why everyone's so negative to it. I really don't understand.
Kind of like, just because it doesn't sound like The Cure. And me, like, I didn't place a high, but I didn't hate it by any means. I mean, that's my favorite of, I guess I consider anything after, I guess, you know, you look at everything after Wish, it kind of just sounds completely different from everything before. Mood Swings, Blood Flowers, Cure, and 413 Dream. But the Cure, the self-title is of those four, it's the one I rank the highest.
Sure.
And maybe rank even higher. I don't know. But I can totally see why you would like this album so much.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think is completely hilarious is your 8 and 9 choice.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
That's what I was struggling with.
Dude, and it's funny because it's like my least favorite and my favorite.
And your favorite.
And you decided to put my least favorite above my favorite.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine a universe where that is the case. I really can't imagine how that's even possible.
Well, again, you know, those are the two that because I like for different reasons, I would probably put those in different places at some point, you know, because I, you know, do want to hear more of this one because I don't know it as well. Also, again, look at our number 1 and 9. They're the same.
Well, man, the thing I found whenever I came to my number 1 spot, this self-titled album, you have to listen to it completely differently.
You do.
Is my conclusion about it, because it's really not trying to do the same things as any other Cure album. It's trying to be really confident and musically interesting.
It is.
Which is wild, you know? Like with that as a goal. It sounds like they went into it with that as a goal. And also like it's darkness in like a rougher way. It's nice, man. It's nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about disintegration.
Yeah, so
Which is not like mine's a hot topic or a hot pick. Yours is quite the opposite of a hot
no,
pick.
it's not at all. And
You're making a lot of friends.
Yeah, I
People
know.
probably think they wish you ran this YouTube channel.
I know. They're like, no, seriously. Yeah. So I do know this really well. I have it, and it is funny you mentioned. You said put this on your record player earlier because me, being a hipster, I actually do own this on the record, and the reason I bought it because I love it, but I was also like, I bet that would sound really cool on vinyl, and it does. That's
the thing, because I'm all into CDs. I don't really do vinyl.
Right.
This one on vinyl, I want to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's just so much, and then the back's just the songs. But I also like about this because it's a double album, and then you've got the picture of the Cure. So I think that's really cool. I like the picture.
Oh, sweet.
But oh gosh, yeah, I love this album so much, and I know it's not like it's complete opposite. It's not a hot take, but every song is just like, I do agree. Every song, well, not every song, but a lot of the songs take like 5 minutes to start. But some of that is rewarding. I think like Plain Song, the intro, Pictures of You, I love, and I do love that it's just building for like a few minutes. Gosh, I also like some of the songs they played live when I saw them on this were super cool. Like the song Lullaby, when they played that live, I thought that was one of their best.
Lullaby is really good. I like
Fascination,
Lullaby a lot.
Fascination Street is another one, takes forever, but I like the bass and the synths and everything's just like swirling, I guess. I don't know.
See, I don't like Fascination Street. Yeah. It's not great to me. But everyone loves that song.
The two I struggle with are, Prayers for Rain, which is 6 minutes, and it's like you're getting to this point where it's like really low, and then freaking Same Deep Water as You is 9.5 minutes and does absolutely nothing. And at that point, like I'm just dragging myself through the album. And I like this album because it's very atmospheric and ethereal, but it's also very just steady and just down to earth. But it is hard to stay. And I like how sad it is, but it's hard to stay sad for that long because. And then let's see what else here. It's funny because the songs are like when I'm flipping the album over like this to read it because they're like around it. It's kind of funny.
Real quick, before you go on, I want to read something in my notes. So when it came to Prayers for Rain, followed by The Same Deep Water as You, I just want to read my notes to you.
Oh, I wrote on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So on Prayers for Rain, okay, it's right here. I wrote another freaking long song.
Yep.
And then on number 9, which is The Same Deep Water as You, I wrote 9.5 minute song. Exactly what this album didn't need.
Yep. No, that's true.
We have the same conclusion when it comes to this part of the album. Yeah.
What's next? Yeah, Disintegration is good, but again, at that point in the album, you're just so lagging, I guess. Homesick, I don't really remember that song. But the last one, Untitled, is probably one of my most favorite Cure songs. I just, it just
really good.
It just blows my mind like every single time I hear it. So this is a cool album, especially for the album or the record here. Now, granted, there are songs that I want to skip on it, but I feel like, but I also, I do like Head on the Door so much. Like, these top 3, I really enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you mentioned, you put Pornography and Disintegration next to each other, and I put those further apart. But for me, Pornography is harder to get into, and just in terms of being in the right mood for it, I guess, because it's so dark.
So do you like jam Disintegration during the summer?
When I jam, I will pick certain songs off of it. when I listen to the entire album, I really want to be like, I don't know how to describe it, just like focused or in depth, or like you want to feel really sad, but of course then I get to the end of the album and I just get bored. But then Untitled happens and it's just like, whoa, like that's one I'll just listen to on its own. And then like the very end of that song is also cool because it's the end of the album, or the way it like concludes I really like a lot.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, I dig it, and it's one that it's like, well, you can say this for a lot of these, but this one in particular, it's like nothing else I've ever heard. Like it's just so out of this universe for me. It's kind of like I like Dark Side of the Moon, which
That's a cool album.
Which people make the comparison about that one, but for this one, in a way, I feel like it's almost even more, just because there's just like, I don't know, there's just like, there's just so much to it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I like looking at this.
I like this a lot. I'll save this on my computer and send it back to you.
Sweet.
Our completed lists.
Yeah, it's cool to have it just sitting here in front. But yeah, it kind of when you, I feel like I kind of get it. I kind of get why you put this stuff where you put it, except for, of course, the two. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be surprised when I flip those later on. And even then, they're still close to each other. So.
Yeah. I just can't imagine a world where that's true.
I know.
But at least you have it better than like Blood Flowers.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah, literally, that's like the one thing that I just can't wrap my mind
around. Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just don't think people give the self-titled album a chance. I think they try to listen to it the same way they want to listen to any other Cure album, and I just don't think it's...
You know what to expect from it.
Yeah, it's just not the same thing, but it is absolutely my favorite. It really is, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I like a lot of Cure albums now. That's cool for me.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. Another kind of tricky one for me is whether to put Faith above Wild Mood Swings and The Top, or below both of them, because they're so similar. I kind of feel the same way about both of them, but I think Wild Mood Swings is stronger. But I wasn't sure if I liked Faith more than them or less than them. I ended up going with less, just because both of those albums are more colorful. It's the whole Animal Collective-ish to me. But that was kind of a trickier pick. But I ended up going below with Faith.
Cool. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think we could pretty much wrap it up. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this
video. Bomba.
Link in the description to, I don't know.
Links to the internet.
Yeah, be sure to to follow us on Twitter. And
wait, hold on. Let me make that bigger. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have a Twitter account, so
just your Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, be sure to follow my Instagram account.
Yeah, link our Instagrams.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the Sus Squad family, obviously.
Yeah.
Our other channel, which is much worse than this by far.
Yeah, but ironically, recently it's related because we released a mixtape.
Yeah, we did. So you'll have to put the video over my face. Like
I did in the last video. Yeah. Cool. This was a lot of fun, so let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, we should. And even if we're if I'm living somewhere else, we should totally keep doing this. I think we started at like 9. This has literally been going for 2 hours.
That's okay. 2 hours? Yeah.
I love it. It's so fun.
Yeah, kind of makes me want to put timestamps in the description for whenever we finally add another as we go.
Yeah, for sure.
But
well, cool.
Everybody listen to The Cure.
Yeah, go listen to them right now.
Yeah, I hope that this makes you want to listen to The Cure. It makes me want to listen to The Cure.
Makes me want to go buy more stuff, buy more discs.
Yeah, I gotta get some Cure discs for sure.
There are at least 2 that I know I want.
I only own these 3.
Oh, yeah. I have these 3, and then yeah, this nice one.
You have CD and vinyl of it, okay?
I do, yeah, and I think it'd be cool to own. Well, I don't know. I mean, I like a lot of. I think it'd be cool to own pornography on vinyl, but I don't know. This is.
How would you watch it?
Ooh.
It's just serious question.
It's just the audio of it. You
That's
just listen
so weird.
to it.
Oh dang. Well,
with that thought.
Yeah. Sounds therapeutic. Get it? Because it's the Cure. Wow. Before we tell too many of the worst jokes you've ever heard, I hope you subscribed by now, because you probably won't after I just said that.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah,
yeah, let's get it.
So let's talk to the audience, like Davey 504 does.
Slap like on this video. Oh yes.
Any song suggestions?
Can you play the Seinfeld theme?
No, but I can play Smoke on the Water.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I'm not that good though. I'm not good at bass. It's like, yeah, I'm not that good. So.
Yeah.
I can't even hear it, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, yeah, you can only get so good at bass.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I mean, honestly, it's kind of one of those things where you can just pick it up and it doesn't make any difference how good you are, because it just sounds the same, which is that you can't hear it at all. Which is why basses are completely freaking worthless.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. See, the reason that I got this 5-string is because it looks more significant, to trick everyone into thinking that I'm cool.
Yeah, it at least looks.
You just have a 4-string,
yeah,
so it looks like you got that before you understood that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, be sure to dislike this video.
Yeah, hit that dislike button. Comment down below. Tell us how wrong we are. And if you are subscribed, just go ahead and unsubscribe right now, just because, honestly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I mean, if you liked the video, I literally don't understand you. Well, all right, let's stop our recording.
All right.